this journey to the top. Today's book review is gonna be about Attach. This book right here was written by Amir, Levine, and Rachel Eller. This was one of my favorite actually. This is really good. It's one of those books that you grab and like you just keep reading and reading and reading and like the hours go by and you're like, oh, what happened was, you know, yeah, like my three kinds of books that I like to read are finances, psychology, and nutrition. Those are the things I love to read about. And this one is basically about psychology of love. It basically talks about attachment styles. There is three attachment styles that people usually display most commonly. And you have the secure attachment style, you have the anxious attachment style, you have the avoidant attachment style. And so basically the book talks about how we seek romantic partners that make us makes us feel with in a familiar way than the way that our parents loved us, you know. So, for example, when like secure attachment style is usually people that grew up in a healthy home, where both parents were there and they were nurtured the proper way. They gave them attention and proper care. And usually these people are not too attached, not too and nor too detached. They can let you go if it needs to be. They're not like overly attached or too distant. They're just in the middle. Now, you have the avoidant attachment style. Avoidant attachment style is people who are very detached and they avoid feelings and intimacy, um, because they don't see it as reliable. Because in their childhood, one of their parents were not very consistent taking care of them. Like one parent would come and go, for example, and so they learn to just distance themselves in order not to get hurt. Um, Usually, these people just focus on career and don't want to do anything with because they're just scared, basically. And then you have the anxious attachment style, which are people who are very attached or clingy, and they like a lot of intimacy, and they need that stuff. They crave it, like because in their childhood they was very neglected, and like they didn't have one of the parents was spiritually gone, always gone, and like they always seek the stuff that was missing in their part. Um, and Interestingly enough, opposite attract. So avoidant people, people with avoidant attachment style usually attract people with anxious attachment style, and like it's like a chase and it's always unhealthy, and those type of relationships is like the perfect breeding ground for a narcissistic and codependent person, and like they are never healthy because the person that you date can either break you or make you. If you date a person that doesn't correspond your needs, that is not able to give your needs, you are gonna suffer a lot. And I experienced this myself. I consider myself more of the anxious side attachment, but you can actually go back and forth between these states. But I consider myself more of the anxious because I grew up, just with my mom. My father was never there. He would come like once a year, and I remember watching my mom waiting for him and she was very anxious too, and like she wanted him and missing him, and like she gave him a lot of chances, chances after chances, and like never wanted to give up. And I like, even though he was avoidant, like he was far away, he wasn't there. She kept, and I'm the same way. Like I be with people and I keep give them chances and chances, even though if they hurt me, make me feel bad. And it's like I started reading about this stuff. Like I think probably the best course of action for me is to go to therapy and like try to resolve those issues. But this book was definitely eye-opening, and I definitely recommend it. Like, I know it's a one great read, and I'm gonna add it to my collection.